everybody, I'm CHERRIE, Associate Producer and Director of the Rip Horror Film Festival. Today, I'm here with Director and Star of Condo, Amy Wade. How are you, Amy?
I'm really good, Cher. I'm very grateful. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, it's so nice to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from a small town north of Boston called Reading, Massachusetts, and I was born and raised there until I was 17 years old. I always wanted to be an actress ever since I can remember, and I decided that one day I would move to Hollywood and pursue my dream, which is what I did.
Oh, so you were an actress before you were a director. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I pounded the pavement for 20 years. I worked really hard. I did a lot of independent films. I worked behind the scenes a lot so that I could learn as much as possible, so that when I did make my own movie, I had some sort of idea of what I was doing. So I did a lot of the grunt work. I did, like I said, very, very, very low budget movies. I played like tiny little roles. I did a lot of extra work, which, you know, can be very degrading to some degree because they treat you so poorly. But either way, I was just grateful to have any type of work. Other than that, I waited tables to pay my bills, you know, and I think that's what most people do out here when they come out to pursue. I did a lot of the grunt work so I could learn a lot about, you know, the craft. And I went to Playhouse West Repertory Theater where I met Robert Carnegie, and I thought he was the greatest acting teacher of all time. That's also where I met my classmates who became my lifelong friends. And I decided one day that I wanted to make a movie. I just didn't know when. And many, many years later, when I decided to move back to Massachusetts and Rhode Island, I went to this building where my dad worked, and it's this giant mill. It used to be the Tupperware mill where Tupperware was invented.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I walked in, it was this amazing, massive hallway, and I said, Pop, oh my God, I want to make a movie here one day. I want to make a horror movie. It was like
that's
The Shining.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really exciting because I knew one day that I would make the movie.
And what is Condo about?
Condo Hell is about a serial killer that was raised inside this big, massive building, and his family was not very good to him. And he did some awful things and was put in jail. And eventually, many years later, he escaped. And unfortunately for these very unsuspecting guests who were having like an open house weekend, because the mill had been converted into condominiums. And so they were trying to sell the condos, and these poor people show up, and there's a very difficult weekend they had. So that's kind of, without giving it all away, that's what it's about. And the serial killer had a ball.
Now, how did that mill come into your life? Like, how does your family own it, or is there...
My father works there, and he's one of the developers. He's been there for over 35 years now, and when I left LA, I missed my family so much. I wanted to work with him. So I started to go to this mill with him every day, and I did all sorts of crazy jobs. I helped the construction crew, and they were converting the mill into condominiums.
Oh,
so
how
I forgot to
nice.
say that. It's a big deal. And throughout the time that I worked there, I found all these like secret places and areas in the basement that was like a dungeon, and there were doors that led to nowhere. Yeah, a lot of like creepy things. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And in 2012, was it? I decided the time was right. And so I flew out to LA, and I have all these friends that I took acting class with, and we used to brainstorm about it. And I said to them, the time is right, let's do it. So I wrote the script, and then I called everybody. Gia and Kurt, Kurt Phillips and Gia Franzia are my partners, and we called everybody and said, do you want to do it? And everybody jumped on board, and then they flew to Rhode Island, and we shot the movie together.
Wow, that is so cool. Now, tell us a little bit about pre-production. Like, how did you get it set up between, I mean, it sounds like you and Gia and Kurt were having a conversation, some great ideas are flowing. How does that go from ideas and talk to everyone flying to Rhode Island and working on a film?
Gia Franzia is one of my best friends, and she has made a lot of movies. So she has also produced a lot of movies, and she was brilliant and saved the movie. I mean, she basically is the one who did most of the pre-production, and with her guidance and knowledge, I learned a lot. Her and Kurt Phillips, they have been just such an asset to this film. So pre-production was very difficult, but I basically made the arrangements for people to come to the condo, all the actors, and we all stayed in my condo, and it was awesome. We just had so much fun together. And Gia and I, we raised money, saved the money, and started to shoot. We just had everybody fly there, and we started shooting. Tons of things went wrong. We had Wayne had broken his foot before he came to the shoot, so we had to have someone, sub in for some of the roles, but some of the parts. But then he rallied up and he worked with a broken foot. And other things went wrong, things that you don't expect, and you do the best you can with what we have.
Now, what was the writing process like for you?
I loved it. It was one of my favorite parts, for sure. There's so many rewrites. You write something and you think it's great, and then I would have Gia read it, and she would edit it for me. And the only time that I could work was the middle of the night because of my job. So it would be like 3 a.m. my time and midnight LA time, but we just would write all night, and we would talk about it and change things. And you know what writing is like, you're just constantly changing. So from one end to the other, it changes a lot. But I did love that. I love to write.
Yeah.
I do. And horror is fun because you get to write all sorts of gory stuff. And then when I wrote the fight scene, obviously that was fun for me. Yeah. I hired some people local from Boston, the cinematographer and some of the gaffers, and we hired a few people, but we didn't have much money, so we did so much on our own, and so many things went wrong. So many things went wrong. It was insanity, but we made the best of everything. We made it work. We faked rain, like we had this big giant ladder with a big hose on top, and people were hosing us down. The weather changed, which made a big difference. It was pretty crazy, but we did the best we could in 5 days, and that's all we had to shoot it.
5 days is amazing to get a whole film done.
Yeah, it was crazy. Maybe 6 months to a year later, I forget the dates, it took so long to make this movie, we had a few of the cast members come back, and we reshot a few scenes and added to it because we didn't have it wasn't long enough at first. Mm-hmm. So we did that. And then a couple other times we had like one or two of the actors fly back to do some extra scenes. But
yeah, so that's definitely part of it.
Yeah, for the most part, it was like a 15-day shoot, and I had to raise money from the residents. They helped me by donating things that I sold on Craigslist. Mm-hmm. Craigslist, thank you, Craigslist people. You helped fund my movie, which was phenomenal. And all the residents, the things they donated, they would just drop things off outside my door. Which was awesome. And thank you, residents. Rhode Island is such a great state. They supported us. They gave us like all sorts of newspaper articles and wrote up about us. My father's in the movie also.
Yes,
yes. He has a major role in the movie.
He gave such a beautiful performance too.
Thank you.
How did that come about? Like, how did he feel? Was that his first acting role?
No, we did a couple little movies together, but he's a natural, and he's my pop, and I always want to work with him. So when I wrote the movie, he has a really central role in it. He plays a very important character.
Now let's talk about the action scenes in the film and some of the stunt work involved. How did you train for that, and what was it like to film those scenes?
I was a boxer for many years, so for me, I loved the punching scenes. We choreographed it ourselves, and we had like 3 hours to shoot basically the whole fight scene. It was a blast, but it was very, very hard. It was dangerous. We are not professional stunt people. I was grateful that Wayne did his own stunt work. He's got a family, 3 kids, and his wife, who I love, and thank you again, Mindy, for letting me cast him as a serial killer. She's a sweetheart. Mm-hmm. So the fight scenes were, I thought they came out really good. We had to rush some of it, and that was really dangerous. I actually missed a mattress at one point and landed on the cement. That was a lot of fun. No, it wasn't. So we had some bruises and bumps, and but like I said, the actors, they did a lot for me.
Who are some other filmmakers or directors that you look up to, or something that you would like inspire to be?
Well, I would say Oliver Stone and Steven Spielberg are two of my favorites. Steven Spielberg, when I saw the Schindler's List, it blew my mind. I actually wrote him a letter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did. My grandmother was Armenian and survived the genocide, and so the Jewish Holocaust was really magnitudinal. Is that a word?
Uh-huh.
In my life, and it was so similar to the Armenian massacre, and that was a genocide. And so I thought that film it affected me, and it still does in my entire life. I mean, Spielberg is just absolutely a phenomenal director.
He's a genius, an absolute genius.
Yes.
What was it like to direct yourself as an actress in the film?
That was not easy, just because so much else was going on, and I was involved in so many little details. So that part was scary. You know, I relied on Gia a lot to, tell me how I was doing. And, I had to keep going back and checking the camera for the frame. And, we were tight with how many times we could shoot. Again, all the actors were so great about that. We couldn't do that many takes for each scene. But everyone did such a great job. And for me, in my next film, I wouldn't want to direct myself. I would have to pick one or the other. It was a lot.
I understand that. Mm-hmm. Your outbreak as a director, it's just been so stunning to watch and see over the last couple of years.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing. Congratulations to you. You did such a good job.
Thanks, Cher.
Now, what's next? Now, what comes after Condo Hell?
I wish there could be a sequel. If Condo Hell sells, I would love to make a sequel to that, or just another. I was thinking of making another horror movie, which would be a comedy of the horror movie, the making of it. That would be my next film. I love horror. Who doesn't love horror? I mean,
it's true.
Horror is it has like a cult following.
Yeah.
And, all the horror movie film festivals. I can't wait to be in the RIP Film Festival. It's going to be so exciting and awesome. Chris Marcy is amazing. All of the people that are going to be involved in that festival are so dear and wonderful people, and that festival is going to kick ass. It's not easy. I didn't realize how hard it is to get into a film festival. You can submit to 20, 25 festivals and only get into 4 or 5 of them. So definitely an honor for me. And the things in the past that the RIP Festival has done for people is amazing. And Cher, you're a part of that. You are the associate producer of that.
Thank you.
And LJ and Chris Marcy, and I can't say enough. And I know that this festival is for the actors, which is also rare. I hate to say it, but when film festivals are to encourage and inspire and support filmmakers, you can't go wrong with that. It's a gift, because it is hard to be an independent filmmaker today. And I think that the RIP Film Festival is for the actors.
Now, after the fest, what are your plans for Condo Hell? Are you going to try to release it on DVD or Netflix, or find theatrical distribution?
I'm going to go for all of it. I'm going to go for a theatrical distribution, overseas distribution, and if that doesn't work, then I'm going to try to sell it online. Just go for it. Like I've done everything. You gotta do it on your own if no one else is going to do it, and nobody's going to care about your movie more than you do. Mm-hmm.
So we're really happy to have you at RIP Horror this year, and we'll be screening Condo Hell on November 11th. So everyone, our tickets will be up on sale. We're doing a flash sale again on the website in the next week, so watch for that to come up on our social media. And Amy, it's been so lovely having you here and talking and stuff. I'm just super duper proud of you, and I want to say bravo, amazing film. It was so good. I was just floored. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. It's awesome to have somebody say that, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for accepting my film into the RIP Horror Film Festival, and I hope to see you all there. So buy a ticket now. Buy a ticket today. Okay, thank you.
See you at RIP.